another big SEC matchup in the AP poll ranked matchup for the AQR. Vandy is number 17, and they're coming to Austin, Texas, where INSZN is based, our headquarters, to watch to play against the Longhorns. The spread right now is 3 points in favor of Texas, and the over/under is only 45.5 right now. So let's go ahead and talk through that game.
Yeah, I mean, this is. I don't know how to predict this game well. I mean, you have Diego Pavia, who's a great quarterback, has shown it this season. Do we have any word on Arch? Is Arch going to play this weekend?
He's practiced the last 2 days.
Okay.
He also got pulled over by the Austin Police Department, but he looked all right in that picture as well that I saw on X. So
okay, perfect. Okay, so we're going to assume Arch is playing this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to guess he's going to play. It sounds like Michael Taft, they're kind of the leader of their defense, is also going to play. So I don't know if Arch is fully through protocol, but it looks like he's leaning that way to where he probably will get the start.
Great. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, so this is going to be offense versus defense again. Texas's defense, I think, is one of the most underrated defenses in the SEC, but I think in the nation. I mean, they rank first on SP Plus rankings, on a neutral site. What SP Plus looks at is saying, hey, we're going to take away every single matchup and saying, hey, if this defense or this offense played on a neutral site versus an average team in the NCAA, how many points would that average team score against the team, or how many points would this team score against an average defense? So if you take away kind of stripping all the bias out, Texas ranks number 1 in SP defense, allowing 9.7 points to an average NCAA team, while Vandy has the number 8 SP plus offensive ranking, where they could put up about 38.8 points in a game. So I think this is going to be kind of another interesting offense versus defense matchup in the SEC. I think the question then relies on, is Arch able to play? And if so, what he's going to be capable of doing.
Right. No, I agree with you. I mean, I think a big portion of this game is going to be Arch and his availability. It's also just going to be kind of the Texas offensive line and whether they're able to kind of establish a run game, because that has been a big kind of issue for Texas throughout the year. Yeah. So I think that's going to be a big one. I also kind of, Arch obviously started this year as the Heisman favorite. I've seen a lot of talk about Diego Pavia this year, especially recently in terms of Heisman. This could be his Heisman game. And honestly, he needs it. I don't think he's played 4 SEC opponents so far this year, has not thrown for over 200 yards yet.
Can we look at a head-to-head against Arch and Diego?
Yeah, that would be great.
Do that. We can take a look at kind of what they're looking like this season. So let's go. So what stands out to you here? What do you want to talk about here?
I think kind of let's look through just what they're doing differently. I mean, I think this is really interesting to me in terms of looking at turnover worthy plays and big time plays. Kind of both of those show a difference. And even really looking at Arch, although he was limited last year in terms of playing time. Yeah. When you really look at those turnover-worthy plays, that's a big 4.2% is a big jump for him year over year.
Yeah.
And even Diego Pavia, he's kind of protected the ball a lot more, a lot better this year, and had some big-time plays.
And for those who are unfamiliar, just to quickly jump in, big-time plays are plays that result in 20-plus yard gains. And so that's kind of a metric that we look at to saying, hey, not only is this quarterback able to operate kind of efficiently in a standard offensive set, are they able to break coverages? Are they able to produce plays that lead to these massive gains that really can flip field positions or can lead to scores? So it's just an interesting note here to point out that Diego does that almost twice as much as Arch has done this year, while the turnover-worthy play that you mentioned earlier, Arch is worse at that. I mean, Arch
Mhm.
4.2% of all of Arch's plays are turnover-worthy plays, whereas Diego's hits about 3.1%. Not a huge differential, but it's definitely something to look out for.
Yep. No, I agree. I think this will be an interesting matchup. Texas at home, obviously reeling after a few losses early. They kind of had a big comeback against Mississippi State. Looked like a team that thought their coach was leaving for the NFL in the first half of that Mississippi State game. Turn it around and have an incredible game. Really, I saw this recently, and maybe you can use Arch to talk through this, but just the difference in the amount of pass attempts he has, or I guess deep pass attempts, 20 plus yards early in a game versus late in a game. I mean, first quarter, I think he has 1 all year that he's thrown deep. Fourth quarter, he has 14. So obviously they start to open up the offense a lot. One of the keys for me for this game for Texas is going to be taking some shots early. You're playing at home. You have Vanderbilt coming in probably for the first time ever coming into Austin as ranked ahead of the University of Texas. And you kind of want to establish that you are UT and you are the Longhorns. So I want to see them make some big plays early, take some shots, and then see Arch taking care of the rock and getting the ball out early. If you looked at a comparison of him last year versus this year, he's holding onto the ball a lot more or a lot longer than he was previously. And that, I know that has a lot to do with some other things, but when pull that up, because I know that can have, some things in terms of not feeling like he's reading defenses well enough or anything like that. But man, when he looked really good last year, he was getting the ball out early and often, getting the ball into the hands of his playmakers. And I think that's a key for him is if he does play in this game, he needs to be able to get the ball out early, read a defense, and then just say, all right, that cover 2. I know where I'm looking here, and get the ball out quick.
So I'm just pulling this up real quick. Time to throw this year is 2.99 seconds. Last year is 2.74 seconds. Doesn't seem like a big difference, but in terms of when the pocket collapses around you, are you getting the ball out, or are you able to make the decision quick enough across every pass play you do? I think that's something that does stand out. Now, discounting it a little bit, when Arch, a lot of his games last year were played during kind of what we're going to call garbage minutes. It's a little bit different. We're not really necessarily comparing apples to apples here, but definitely something to watch out for. And I think that kind of relies on, is Texas's offensive line going to be able to hold and allow Arch to actually get to those second, third looks and make the right play?
Yeah, no, I agree. All right. So any final thoughts, predictions for this game?
I mean, it's kind of a toss-up. I think it's really going to rely on what is Texas's offense able to do. I think we know Texas's defense is good. We know Vanderbilt's offense is good. Yeah. The question remains is Texas able to get the ball down the field and score? Is Arch able to lead his team to a 7-3 record and beat Vanderbilt at home? It kind of remains outstanding for me. I don't want to make a definitive call on which way I think this game's going to go. Do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I think a big question mark is whether Arch is going to play. I mean, from everything I've seen, it looks like he will be, but even though he hasn't played probably to what we all expected, I think he is a big he is the question mark. And if he's out there, I think that the Longhorns are going to win or lose kind of on his shoulders. Sure. Not that he's the only player out there, but I think he's going to be the reason they are able to pull this out or anything like that. So perfect. All right, let's kind of like we talked about earlier. This is our first time. We're getting better at this. We'll keep putting content out as much as we can. Follow, subscribe. Check us out on X, Instagram, anything like that. And then go ahead and there's a link in the bio. Go to INSZN.co, INSZNCFB.com. Check it out. It's honestly, like I said, it's a rabbit hole, and you can get some phenomenal content yourself just looking at this and really understand the game a lot more, understand why teams are winning or losing.
Yeah.
And then kind of these predictions, be able to make these predictions yourself.